Alright, now just keep me on me, huh?
I ain't not pressing the other.
Alright, we got a few Capelin this morning.
Folks, so if you watched my previous video, you saw when we caught some capelin. Me and my dad went out to Chance Cove and caught some capelin. Had a great time, and see from the video here that they were in the water close to shore, and you can actually see the spawn in the water where they were spawning. So we ended up with about almost a 5-gallon bucket full, and brought them back home. It's a little bit of a hike to get out here, but they look great. And once we got home, Jeanette cleaned every capelin. We always got and take the head off every capelin before we cure them. Some people don't, some people do, but that's just the way we do it. So stay tuned. We're going to cure these up now and take you along that process. So folks, once we got all the capelin cleaned, Jeanette cleaned them, sorry, we froze them all in bags, and we knew we were going to dry them later on. So here we are. We took the capelin out of the freezer, and then we let them thaw out, and we had about 200 capelin here, and thaw them out, rinse them off, let them drain in the colander in the sink. Try to get them a little bit dry, get as much water off them as possible before we put them in the brine to get them pure. So folks, many people use different recipes for brining their capelin. We use a combination of brown sugar, molasses, and coarse salt. The recipe is from Jeanette's mom, and the details are contained in the description below. So basically, you put all the ingredients together, and I actually doubled the recipe for this amount of capelin because one recipe does about 100 capelin. Like I said, we had about 200 capelin here. So put all your ingredients together, and then mix it all thoroughly. Make sure everything is dissolved, all the sugar, all the salt's dissolved. And I used a stainless steel pot here, as you can see. And once I had the mixture mixed up well, I started to add the capelin. The capelin had been draining in the colander for a little bit in the sink, and you just add them to the pot. We just put them in here, and they'll stay in this mixture overnight for about 12 hours. So yeah, they put them in. Give them a stir, make sure they're mixed up really well, and make sure they're all coated, and let them sit, like I said, overnight. Okay. You can see here that the mixture is very brown, and people compare it almost to like smoking capelin. So anyway, mixed up really well and left it overnight. So the next morning, you just basically take the capelin out and put them back in the colander again. Let all the brine drain off them. You don't want them too wet, because now we're going to put them through the drying process. And we, like you see here, I just take them out of the boiler, put them in the colander, and let them drain. Once they're all drained, we're going to put them on the flake. So you see here, this is about 200 capelin here in this pot. It doesn't look like much, but it's 200 in there. And once we had them all drained off, I started to put them on this flake. Now this flake was made by my father-in-law. It's just basically screen mesh, put over a frame, and has a cover to go on top of it. Keeps the flies off it. And there's actually 3 meshes in this one. There's like trays in the middle, and a mesh on the top and the bottom, so it keeps the flies away from actually touching any capelin at any point in time. There's space in between the 2 meshes. 3 meshes, sorry. So yeah, so lay them out on the flake like so. Spread them all out. Try and make sure they're not touching each other, and it'll take a couple of days for these to dry. So you see here in the next few shots, all the capelin are now laid out, and the flake is now open. You see the cover in the background there. I just laid it just on hinges, and I put it back over. And if you look at the capelin, they got a nice brown glaze to them. The molasses and brown sugar certainly puts a lovely taste on them. That's the way we like them. Some people prefer, like I said, heads and everything, the whole capelin, just put in salt and enjoy them that way. Now it's been a couple days drying. The capelin are nice and dry here now, so I'm starting to take them off the flake and put them back in the bowl. And what I usually do is I'll check them. Like I said, these been out in the sun now for a couple of days, and you only need a couple days or 3 days to dry them really well. They're still a bit sticky at this point, which is why I go through the next process, which some people don't do, but I do, is that I'll take these capelin and I'll put them on freezer trays to freeze them individually, so I can bag them up and store them in the refrigerator, in the freezer. So now that I got all the capelin off the flake and put in the bowl, you can see the nice golden color that's on them, brown color. They are still raw, of course, but and now all we do when we cook them up is we warm them up over fire, put them in tin foil or whatever. Another thing that I do before we put them away for the winter is basically freeze them on trays. Now you see I have trays of capelin here with parchment paper layers in between, so they don't freeze together. And I put them in the freezer so they freeze individually, and once they're froze again, I'll leave them in there overnight. I'll take them out, put them in bags, and then they won't stick together into a ball. Like I said before, the capelin right here, they're still maybe a little bit sticky from the molasses and sugar, so I want to make sure that they don't freeze together. And this is one way that I make sure of that, by freezing them individually on trays. And like I said, overnight is all you need for that. And then I'll take them out and put them in bags. Here's next to the final step, to put them in bags and put them in the freezer for storage. So folks, I just cooked up a few capelin. They are delicious, nice and crispy. You can see it here. Oh yeah, and that brown sugar molasses combination, we like it. I know a lot of people just dry salt capelin just like that, but I prefer, I've had that before and it is good, but I prefer this right now. So folks, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to sit here and enjoy these capelin. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll catch you on the next video. All right? Take care, folks. See you in the next video. Delicious.